Japanese students and about that, I wouldn't call it shyness. Now I call it reserve. It's a kind of politeness that limits the interaction sometimes.
Hello! How's it going? Let's have you three.
Hi you guys, I'm Kristin and I am famous for being the most boring teacher at Dominion. And I introduce myself that way to every new class because I do a lot of the same things in my classes. Fortunately, when I say I'm the most boring teacher at Dominion, many students say, no teacher, it's not true. Because of course I try to make my classes exciting and interesting and fun, but I do a lot of the same things because I really want to build the students' skills in some specific areas. You might notice from my accent that although I teach in Auckland, New Zealand, I am not from New Zealand. I'm from Portland, Oregon in the United States. And I actually arrived here by sailboat.
What?
So I sailed to New Zealand over 20 years ago.
Can you tell me how to get the most of studying at language school?
Well, I mean, the biggest tip is to make friends, and to ask for help when it's needed, because I'm a teacher trainer and one of my jobs is to teach students to teach English. And one of the most important things we can do is help them develop enough confidence to interact as much as possible with the people that they encounter. So whether it's just saying, cheers driver, to the bus when they get off the bus, telling students that in New Zealand, we generally say thanks to the driver when we get off the bus, which we don't do in the United States, Just those little things that help them feel more at home and help them feel like this is their place and that they can, feel comfortable talking to people and to really get out. We do have activities programs, either specially designed for teenage kids or weekly activities for the adult students who can take them up if they want, to get them out, because of course a lot of important learning happens in the classroom, but the best thing they can do for their English while they're in New Zealand is be in New Zealand and talk to people. Have adventures, get lost, ask for directions, Don't just use Uber and Google Maps, try and find somebody who can help you, those things. And of course also, doing things like recommending Netflix shows to watch, to improve your English, and then to talk about the program while when you come to class, those kinds of things.
Students from Japan can be shy to start with, not confident enough to speak. Even you want to make friends, you can be too shy to start a conversation.
I had the opportunity to go to Japan a few years ago, and I was actually, I was sponsored, let's say. I had an old retired student, he was a former, he's not old, but he is retired. And he invited me to Japan because he thought it was really important for me to learn a little bit more about Japanese students and about that, I wouldn't call it shyness. Now I call it reserve. It's a kind of politeness that limits the interaction sometimes. And that experience really helped me to try to be not patient, but to understand that it's not really shyness, that it's about learning the rules. So Japanese people are very respectful and they follow the rules in their country, they follow the expectations of their parents and those things. And it's important for them to understand that the rules here are different and that they can ask direct questions. For example, I want to go out with my friends, but my homestay says I should be home at 6. what can I do, you know? Well, actually, it's okay to ask your homestay if you can stay late. If you have a plan, you know, for getting home, you can make an arrangement, even though the homestay person is your host and older. You know, there's a lot of, they don't have to be Japanese. You know, they don't have to not be Japanese, of course be Japanese, but you don't have to follow the same rules. You can be friends with people older and younger than you. You can ask for help, you can give help, so there's a lot more freedom in the way you communicate, and we really want you to communicate. So I think that we tend to be quite enthusiastic, but also to try and encourage in a really positive way, you know, but also respect the understanding that you might, you know, a Japanese woman might be quiet in the first few weeks of class, but we're going to show you how we can be friends in this group and how we can communicate. And I would say that for the most part, the Japanese students that I've taught have kind of developed a Kiwi side where they know how they want to be in Japan, and they also know how they want to communicate in English, and they can do it their way. They don't have to be South American. They don't have to be the Saudi boy who talks. They can actually be who they are and communicate really effectively within their comfort zone. I'm just a bit concerned that I'm talking a little bit fast. I'm from the United States, but actually I think I learned to speak more quickly in New Zealand.
Kiwis do speak fast. It takes time to get used to listening to English.
I don't quite know how it happens. It's kind of magic. But if you're open and you like where you are and you want to listen, your ears will adjust. This has been a really nice opportunity to talk to the world. We really would love to see more and more students come to New Zealand when the time is right. We'd be very, very, very happy to welcome you.
Oh, it's kind of funny.
I can't lose in the video.
お前はもう死んでいる。
お前はもう死んでる You're already
I
dead.
few words in Japanese, so.
And just from animation, isn't it?
Animation, of course, as always.
Yeah, animation.
Yeah, 恋の子猫。Yeah.